All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus. Got my brother AB, the Truth. He want to be called the Truth, so we'll call him the Truth for this podcast episode.
Yeah, I took Paul Pierce's nickname.
Yeah,
His
he
nickname is Paul Pierce, the Myth.
But also, y'all know we got our favorite hater from the Golden State, Hot Take Jay. What's happening, baby? Man, every time I see
lot to hate on today.
You in a different room. Like, how many rooms you got inside your house, brother?
This is the same room. This is the same room. It was just a different angle than the last time. But we working out the atmosphere.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we're gonna get it started because there's so much going on around the league right now. So we're gonna just jump in and just talk and see where it goes. All right, but the first subject that we want to talk about, we got to do it: the Russell Westbrook trade for John Wall. How y'all feel about that?
I don't know whether to put on my Rockets gear or dress in all black, so I went neutral.
Let me say this. Okay, so when it went down and all the reports started coming out, he called me and he was like, "Man, I got a headache. I just saw the news. I got a migraine." And I was wanting to talk him off the ledge, but I'm like, no, I don't want him to open up just yet because we're going to get him on the podcast and we want him to go ahead and vent on that. So all of these feelings, and I got some stuff to say too. I'm going to ask y'all to give me some space and let me go. But I got some stuff to talk about too. But
hold on. Put the brakes. Let me give some background.
All right.
Me and Aaron been talking hoops for 15 plus years back and forth. And there is maybe a list of top 3 who he has badmouthed and disparaged the most since they came into the league. And John Wall is easily in the top 3 of just verbal abuse. And this dude is just, I'm trying to express this without vulgarity and profanity, but this is the background that I'm trying to set up for, as Aaron describes how he feels having to represent John Wall, the newest member of the Houston Rockets.
Man, but hold on, wait. Before we get into that, let me just go ahead and get this off my chest. This brother right here, our favorite hater from the Golden State, don't tell me he ain't reveling in this.
He's loving it. Look at that smile.
My man is like, their house is in disarray. They are no longer contenders against my Golden State Warriors. They trying to figure out their own situation. Matter of fact, your team is trying to pilfer from our team, trying to come in and swoop James Harden out.
No, come give us a PJ Tucker. Don't nobody really want no James Harden.
Okay, well, why is the report saying that they was inquiring about James Harden?
Anybody can make up something and go.
They weren't making it up. They weren't making clicks.
They wouldn't make it up. These haters trying to come in.
Do you see the condescending jokes that Steve Kerr and
Yeah,
Bob Myers
thinking about the
they
Rockets.
doing it.
Yeah,
it's like getting into your opponent's head before the boxing match.
We smack the Rockets around. What do you mean go to sleep worrying about the Rockets? You don't worry about people beneath you.
And we obviously stay on their brains. we obviously own some real estate in their head because they stay coming on.
Yeah. He talking about that they ain't worried about us, while in the meantime they sneaking behind everybody's backs trying to call and ask about our players. But you know what this
behind
is?
People's backs.
You know what this is? This is the classic. This is like the boxers trying to get into each other here. Ask Nate Robinson how that worked out. This is him trolling us before. You know what I'm saying? You talking about, oh, look at James Harden. We don't like his style. His style don't fit. They laughing at us and this and that, but secretly, if they had a chance to get James Harden, they'd be going for him. So you Golden State haters.
Who are we giving up for James Harden?
You'll give up. We'll see. You'll give up half your team for James Harden.
Who would you give up, Jay? Who would you give up?
So first off, the only person you could actually consider pound for pound, paycheck for paycheck, is Andrew Wiggins. And to be honest with you, it's when we got KD, it was like, well, we don't need the scoring. All this stuff is extra that KD's bringing.
And they're still
and James, but that was different, man. That we don't need that ball hogging ass, Helios center of the universe. James Harden over here.
Yeah, you know why y'all would want it? You know why y'all would want it? Because nobody could check him one-on-one. And they can't cheat off of him because Steph and Clay out there.
So you guys are making me pick on and disparage James. That's not what
the level of disrespect.
I respect James' game.
No, what?
I respect James's game.
Well, hey, he just said he respects James Harden game, but he just got done saying that he a ball hog.
No, we don't want him over here. We don't need him over here.
You know what? If I was gonna give y'all James Harden, I want Steph Curry and I want what's your boy name? The other dude that just broke his leg. I want both of them for James Harden. Y'all giving up something. You coming off some superstars.
You're hurting my ears right now. You're hurting my ears right now.
If we was to trade James Harden to Golden State,
we can stop the conversation right now, man. I don't want no James Harden in my life.
Picks. Tell him, Aaron. We want Steph Curry and 2 first-round picks or Klay Thompson. Y'all losing a splash, brother. I'm telling you now. We talking about Russell Westbrook and John Wall, and ABU's in the middle of getting ready to tell us what you thought about it.
Well, my initial reaction was, this is the worst news that I could possibly hear as a Rocket fan. And when I called Charles up, I told him, my initial reaction is, this is the beginning of the end. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Whatever we thought we was accomplishing in the last 5 years, been on the brink of, it's the beginning of the rebuild, the tear down, and that's the first bad contract that we're gonna inherit, and then we're gonna inherit some more once James gets traded, and then we just look to try to get picks along with bad contracts.
What do you think about the reports that saying that this is what James Harden wanted? He preferred John Wall. So
that's my initial reaction. And then and just to go back to what Jason said is that I have disparaged and hated and despised 2 players, not just John Wall, Boogie Cousins too. And then all of a sudden, in a matter of a week, I'm like, and when the rumors first came out, I was like, this can't be true. This can't be true. But with Boogie, I was at least Boogie's on a minimum contract. Boogie is talented. Boogie guy, he one of the most talented bigs in basketball, period.
But so what do you not like about him then? Because
I feel like at every turn, whenever there's a decision to be made on the court in the game, when the game matters, Boogie gonna make the wrong choice. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's dominating you on the block,
winning basketball,
he's gonna shoot a 3, fading away if he could.
Winning basketball, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So the same thing that people said that they hated about Russ, that he just makes boneheaded plays. He plays like he ain't thinking. He don't slow down. Boogie's that in a center.
But each basketball player really got their shortcomings, and I would say if the game was on the line, the ball shouldn't be in Boogie Cousins' hands anyway.
But if the ball wound up in Boogie Cousins' hands,
he need to kick it back out.
Okay, so you remember when Marcus Morris got that ball and he looked like he didn't want no piece of it?
Yeah.
In the Lakers in the finals. Imagine Boogie with the ball in his hands in that moment. He gonna want a piece of it.
He looking for a guard. He looking for John Wall.
Yeah, he ain't looking for nobody. It's going up. But Boogie gonna cross you over, bust a spin move, try to do a fadeaway with his left hand, falling out of bounds, whatever. Like he's gonna try. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with Russell Westbrook. Like when we lost games, we lost the playoffs, game 2 against the Lakers. The Rockets probably go 2-0 if Russell Westbrook wasn't on the court. We lost a game, I think it was game 5 or game 6. We lost against Oklahoma City. Like if Russ ain't playing, the Rockets win that game. If all they had to do was sit him down in the 4th quarter, and they probably win the game. But because he was trying so hard and he was just messing up, but his mindset doesn't say there's no quit in Russ. Mm-hmm. So you love him for it, but it also works to the detriment of the team when he don't have the awareness to be like, I don't have it. I don't have my rhythm. I don't have it right now. I'm losing the ball dribbling with no one even D'ing me up. I'm just losing it.
So, I mean, okay, so I hear what you're saying about that, but like some people jump on superstars, and Russ is supposed to be one of those superstars if they shy away from the big moments. And Russ is determined to be like, hey, I ain't shying away from no moment.
Yeah, win or lose. It's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse because he won it. Because you would question James Harden and Jason when he talked. look, Jason will question James Harden. Like James Harden, like you got to come to the ball. Like how do you you got to get the ball out of Russ' hands in that situation.
You do.
So what the same fears you have, the same questions you have about James is like, man, why don't you go grab the game right now? It's time for you to grab it. You don't have that question with Russ. You don't have that question with Boogie. They're gonna try to grab it. It just might be at the detriment of you. You know, when he shoots that air ball and holds that follow through for 5 seconds,
like you know it going in.
Your arm is disappearing and reappearing.
Hey, listen, he shot the ball and held the follow through while the Lakers were running back up the court the opposite direction. He's still holding the follow through. It was an air ball, Russ. And man, Jay, I don't want to bash. This is not the bash Russ because I'm going to defend Russ too. But I'm just saying how I feel about Boogie. But when Boogie was on a minimum contract, hey, sign me up. It's gonna be worth the risk. It's different with paying Boogie $30 million versus paying him $1 million, the veteran minimum. But Wall makes what Harden makes.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw Wall, the last time I saw John Wall, he was sitting in the club, looking like he was high, drunk,
throwing up gang signs,
and I'm.
Jason, what you got to say, bro?
Well,
and don't say no hating stuff, man. This ain't
I'm not. No. It's not even a hate.
Don't try to stab us and kick us while we down, brother. Don't go to state hater.
You know, me and Aaron talked for about 15 minutes yesterday before we cut it short. And, you know, at heart, I'm an optimist. So when I look at the trade and I'm like, well, you know, John Wall's been looking good in the offseason workouts. But making a trade like this when Boogie's on a vet minimum, you guys are already talking way too much about Boogie considering he was just on that vet minimum contract. So this
I was just talking about Boogie, those two players. Two players I despise.
I get it. But in the end, Boogie's a vet minimum 1-year deal. It don't work out. He can get cut, kicked off the team, sent home. Don't matter.
I agree.
You trade Russ and you procure my man John Wall and Mr. Dougie over here, and he ain't played in 2 years. You don't know what you're going to get. And in the last 24 hours, I've cooled on it, and I actually am in line with Aaron. It's like the beginning of the end. And at this point now, I'm looking at where is Harden going to eventually end at, because now you could catch lightning in a bottle. Wall and Boogie's best friends, so you know, we'll see. It could be favorable, but in the end, we get 10 games in the season. This could be a sell at all costs kind of a situation. So
I wrote down. I got some notes. I wrote down some notes. Give me the floor, brother. Give me the floor, and I'm gonna ask y'all to let me just kind of go with it. All right, because I've been thinking. Actually, I was dreaming about this. And what I want to say is going to be directed right at John Wall. All right. I know John Wall ain't looking at this podcast right now, but you never know. You might type his name in on YouTube and this podcast might pop up. So John Wall, I'm talking to you, brother. You are coming to H-Town. H-Town. The H-Town citizens are very serious about their basketball team. Now, from every report that I've read, John Wall is praised by the people in DC because of his efforts with the community. Like, you know, his generosity with it. They love him. They love what he do in the community. And I'm sure that when John Wall get to Houston, when you get to Houston, I'm sure you're going to be right in the community right there. But we love our sports teams in Houston. And if you come half-stepping, you're going to get booed out the building. Now, you have an option. You can have the fans love you. Ask Tracy McGrady. Ask Moochie Norris, for God's sake. Ask Steve Francis.
Moochie. He going back.
Mm-hmm.
Ask James Harden. Ask Hakeem Olajuwon. All of them are fan favorites. But the minute you start half stepping, brother, and I know he got game. I know you got game, John Wall, but you need to be on the court showing it to the fans. What we gonna ask you is to do your damn job. You need to be on the court giving us 100% because once you in Houston, we back our sports players. Ask James Harden. James Harden is from Cali, ain't he? From Cali.
Yeah,
James Harden,
he's been adopted as a Houstonian.
But James Harden is a Houstonian, and when they come to Houston, when they play for Houston, for some reason they end up settling in Houston after their careers are over. Ask Steve Francis. Steve Francis from Maryland, I believe.
Harden opening up a restaurant.
Month. James Harden opened up a restaurant. So, but you got to give us your all because the fans gonna give you. Now, here's the thing: we love our team. Once the players leave Houston, we done with them. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like you coming and you gonna.
I'm still root for him.
You still root for him. You still hope that they do good. But hey, once you're not on the Rockets team no more, and Houston Rockets is my team. The Houston Rockets is AB team. We've been rocking with them from back when Sleepy Floyd was playing. You know what I'm saying? Sleepy Floyd. John Wall probably wasn't even born when Sleepy Floyd was playing for the Houston Rockets. You know what I'm saying? So that's our team. You coming and you getting paid and you gonna be here for a little bit of time, but don't you come and mess up our team, brother. Don't come and
I got a question for you, Marcus.
Do your job.
I got a question for you. So you claiming Harden as this Houstonian, but how come he get away with talking about trade me to Brooklyn? I'm ready to go get traded. He don't show up for a game. He don't show up for a game 7. He out there at the club. He out there at the club making it rain an hour after getting eliminated from the playoffs.
Hold on, man. Stop the presses, man. I'm not going to sit here and listen to this slander from Jason. We've been over this whole club thing.
I knew he was going to get on here and start hating. This is like hate time for you.
The dude, he was a 25-year, 26-year-old multi-millionaire, 100 times over. And they lost a big game. He knew he didn't come through. He's single. So that's how some people wallow in their misery. That's how some people try to
go to the club and make it rain an hour after their season.
No, it ain't about making it rain. It's about it's going into an environment where I can just kind of zone out, chill, be away from, because he know what was waiting on the outside for him.
Yeah.
He know he was going to have to face that. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not going to sit here and slander the dude because that's how he chose to get over. I know people, friends of mine, who we lost a big game. You lost a game in high school, and hey,
you smoking weed.
This is a wholesome podcast, so I'm not going to say.
My bad.
I'm not even going to say what had to be done.
This the thumbnail.
Look, because Jason always go back to that, and you know what I'm saying, trust and believe. James Harden took heat over that.
James Harden taking his lumps when he did something wrong in Houston.
But at the same time, we're able to recognize what this dude brought our team from where we were before he got here, and what he's drugged to success year after year since he's been here. With teams in a lot of cases that had no business having the success that they had.
Yeah.
John Wall and Bradley Beal. I don't want to slander John Wall here. You a Rocket, Marcus. You just said it. So I'm gonna try to support this.
We rolling with you, John Wall, but you better do your doggone job.
But John Wall and Bradley Beal, as good as they are and as talented as they are, they should have had more success in the Eastern Conference.
John Wall especially should have had way more success than what he
James Harden has drugged teams without another star to drag, at times to drag alongside him, or stars that are injured when you need them throughout the season to get in. He's drugged the team to high heights. Might not have reached the pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? He fell just short, but hey, only one team gonna win it every year. And when he lost, in most cases, when he lost these games, he lost to a better team.
But you're not comparing John Wall to James Harden. You're comparing
I'm defending James Harden right now. So when you say I'm defending James, like I'm not finna slander him from losing to the Golden State Warriors.
I'm not no. First off, we go back far enough to where you know how I feel about James Harden. I've just given up on him being the tip of the spear and the backbone of the team. He can do the dirty work. He can go out there and he can get buckets, but he ain't the franchise leader to, psychologically the backbone of the team, all that extra stuff that LeBron does. That ain't him.
When we lost to the Lakers this year with an extremely compromised Russ, and Daniel House had his unfortunate situation that was self-induced, right?
You
know what I'm saying? Eric Gordon
he better be lucky. He better be lucky. He's from Houston. Or else he wouldn't be a Houstonian no more after that.
And so, like when you're looking at that and you say, should the Rockets have won? And go look and see what James did over the course of the playoffs this year. Go look and see what he did throughout them 2 rounds, and tell me he didn't do his part.
James carries you for 40. He carries you for 46 minutes. But
and he needs someone to ride with him.
James Harden has actually shown growth throughout the time he's been in Houston in the playoffs. He's gotten better and better. So I ain't gonna keep on kicking James Harden about being in the playoffs. Yeah, they should have won in 2018. They should have went further in 2019, but it ain't all James Harden.
Yeah.
Now I do question James Harden about how these people keep coming to Houston and then leaving so quickly.
Man, look, it's either fabricated or there's some meat to it. So if there is meat to it, things I looked into doing my deep dive on John Wall is he's actually a 38% three-point shooter on spot-up opportunities when Russ is probably all-time worst three-point shooter on volume in history. And John Wall is more of a natural point guard. So as far as a fit, even though John Wall ain't as talented as Russell Westbrook. Russell's all-time great. John Wall is an all-star. He may actually fit better. I still think it's probably fabricated, but there is some merit to where it could be.
Why does that need to be said? If you're boys, why are you gonna lose context and let the world think that you like John Wall more than Russ and that you guys got some new beef or something, rather than, you know what, maybe his 38% on spot ups might compliment me better. Why does it have to be I prefer Wall? And like I said, it could have been nothing on his end that he did, and it's some wannabe Wojnarowski blowing it out of proportion.
It actually was Wojnarowski who said it. So, yeah. but and like you said, it probably was clickbait for Woj to you know what I'm saying, that and that didn't come from Harden like that, but he worded it like that, So
the coach just said today in his in the press conference that he hadn't even talked to James Harden since the John Wall trade went down. You know what I'm saying? So that makes it hard for me to believe that James Harden, who ain't been communicating with the team, gave his input on that trade in particular. And also, right now, if you look online, they're running with this story that James Harden didn't report to camp for the Rockets, that he wasn't in Houston. There's video of James Harden today practicing at the University of Houston, going, because right now they can't practice in the facility. They can be there working on individual stuff, but they can't be practicing. So he's in Houston. He's getting ready to open up a restaurant. They sent out the advertisements and all that stuff today.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram that he sent out an advertisement about a restaurant opening.
Yeah. So what kind of restaurant is it?
It's supposed to be some kind of fine dining restaurant. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't look into it, but I just saw the name of it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Marcus, you'll pivot to it, but I'd like to talk about the actual trade itself and what that because to be honest with you, when I stack up John Wall and Russell Westbrook, and just the simple fact that John Wall ain't even played for 2 years, you basically trade that one pick and those protections. That's hot garbage. That was basically a straight up deal for John Wall and Russell Westbrook. And pound for pound, I'd be extremely disappointed as a Rockets fan that that's all the return I got.
Well, see, but using that logic, that don't make sense to you nor me. And so to use that same logic, is like, okay, well, was this to appease James Harden in some type of way? Because the trade don't make sense. I mean, any GM in their right mind would try to, I mean, a straight up trade for Russell Westbrook and John Wall. So did Harden have something to do with wanting that trade to happen? And that's the reason why they went ahead, because they're trying to keep James Harden happy.
Did y'all see that article? Did y'all see the article I sent y'all from the Ringer that the Ringer did today?
You sent a couple articles. What is it about? Sent stuff.
And basically what it came down to, and I believe this too, was that both teams were desperate. It's a desperation trade on both teams. All right. James Harden is frustrated, is looking like it's getting to be the end. And the Rockets are making one desperate attempt to keep him happy. And the Wizards are making one
Christian Wood was that move. Not Russell Westbrook. It's Christian Wood.
But here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. This is what I think what the Rockets are doing. All right, they're hedging their bet on if James Harden decides to walk, and we have to rebuild, and also if we want to actually still contend. And what they said was when
contend or compete,
right? Compete, okay. Whatever, be competitive. So when Russ said he wanted out, they was like, "Oh, well, this makes it easy because we don't have
to get rid of you anyway."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's that you got a new coach coming in and he wants to set his style up. And Russell Westbrook may or may not fit into that style whatsoever. And John Wall, even though he ain't as good as Russell Westbrook, may be an easier fit in because he ain't a terrible shooter. He ain't great, but he ain't terrible. He might have gotten better.
And he might have got a lot better. You 2 years not playing on the court, you got to do something to get better. I would hope his pull-up game is right.
I know his gang sign throwing is off the chain.
Look, this is my thoughts on it, man. Both the whole trade. It's a whole lot of ifs and a whole lot of buts, right? We're wondering if John Wall still has his athleticism, if he still got his speed, right? We're wondering that. We're wondering how healthy he gonna be able to stay throughout the season. How healthy Boogie gonna be able to stay throughout the season. How does Harden and Wall fit? Was Westbrook, how bad of a fit was he? Because he just had his most efficient year ever in his career. And then going back to how he played before the season started versus coronavirus quad injury Westbrook in the playoffs, right? And then can Silas even make it work with James Harden and all this new mix? Whole bunch of ifs, ands, and buts. The truth of the matter is, it's probably coming to an end for both the Rockets and the Wizards. And the Wizards probably didn't help themselves by giving up the asset in return because you still got the same contract.
Well, I tell you what.
Did you look at those protections? What asset are you talking about, Aaron?
They're gonna give up a pick. So Westbrook is probably gonna get them to the playoffs or borderline to the playoffs.
For the next 2 to 3 years, yes, probably.
Yeah. So matter of fact, if it's better for them if it conveys this year. Because if you wait and then a year from now, how long do you think before Bradley Beal pushes this trade to get out of Washington?
He got 2 years
18
left on
months.
his contract.
18 months.
Yeah, 18 months, right? Probably the same timeline the Rockets is looking at, a year to 18 months, right? So if Bradley Beal pushes to leave and they get nothing in return or something very minimal in return, or heaven forbid he walked for nothing, then the pick is going to convey at some point. It's either going to be a late lottery pick or earlier lottery pick, but it's going to convey.
Oh, sorry.
The protections get looser each year. So this year.
And then, did you look at the last one? Did you look at the last one?
The last one turns into two second rounders.
So that ain't looser. That's backwards, bro.
No, what I mean is this year's top 12 is lottery protected.
No, I know. It goes to 20 to 10 to 8 to whatever, and then if they still ain't getting it, then it's 2 second rounders. You could end up with a bag of nothing.
They're gonna get something.
But
okay.
Hey,
the Wizards this year is likely a playoff team.
Let's talk about this whole thing with Paul George running his mouth about his ex-coach and his teammates. I mean, come on, man. So the reporting is that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, supposedly the two superstars of the team, they have like special things in their contract, like personal bodyguards. Kawhi Leonard living like in a whole nother county or something.
He live in San Diego.
Yeah.
Said he, living in San Diego.
Ain't that like 5 hours away? 4 or 5 hours?
Here's
San Diego to LA. That's an hour, bro. Hour and some change.
he pulling the Kobe Bryant. Where Kobe Bryant was
but he's still out of the area when they tell everybody else on the team, 13 guys on the roster, you need to stay within a 30-mile radius, and then you got one in a 90-mile radius.
But here's the kicker. This is the one I wanted to bring the attention to. They had say-so and control over the practice schedule.
That's what I'm saying. Travel schedule, practice schedule.
Well, I think because I think a lot of superstars have say so.
No, that's not the point. My point that I was gonna make when he went on that podcast, all the smoke, he started disparaging Doc Rivers, talking about we ain't hardly practice.
They don't practice.
we didn't practice. You in a bubble. You can't do nothing else. Literally,
I think he was talking more about the regular season when he said that part.
The cookie started to crumble in the bubble where they were playing, when they were trying to get to the conference finals. You know what I'm saying?
The cookie crumbled all year because their best players didn't practice.
What I'm saying is it manifested in the bubble when they fell to Denver. That's when you saw it was like. Well, this is what he was talking about when they were failing to make adjustments. Doc Rivers was failing to make adjustments. This is what he was talking about on the podcast. And then he started talking about, we didn't even practice. The chemistry wasn't there and this and that. And to me, if you got control over the practice schedule, whose fault is that if you don't practice? Is that what you try to avoid doing? Come on. It don't make sense.
Not to mention, Doc Rivers ain't without blame, but Doc Rivers didn't shoot 4 for 18.
Yeah.
In the game.
Doc Rivers ain't the one with the wobbly arm.
Doc Rivers ain't the one hitting the side of the backboard when they need him most.
Doc Rivers ain't scoring 10 points in the playoff game. Playoff Pete. 2
points in the second half.
I would imagine that Doc Rivers got nothing for Paul George. I mean, so you throwing me under the bus after you disrespecting my daughter for everybody to see? You know what I'm saying? Like, he was probably asking to go by the time this season was over. Get me up out of here.
He did. He was the one that stepped away. He stepped on us away. You know what though? When I heard that the interview, it put stuff in perspective for me. And I was like, no wonder they struggled in the bubble as much as they did. If Kawhi had if they both had those type of liberties outside the bubble all season, and then now you can find two a bubble. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I can understand. I can see why in the bubble it was even more pronounced because they were having struggles all year. That stuff been reported all year.
Well, I mean, when you don't have no outlet. And we all know that Lou Will try to go get him an outlet while they were in the bubble. When you don't have no outlet, did it too. When you don't have no outlet, well, Daniel House agrees with you. When you don't have no outlet in the bubble, the frustrations is easy to find the cracks. You know what I'm saying? And if those guys are getting, if the so-called superstars, and I don't know why. Paul George is getting treated. He ain't won no championship. He ain't carried no team to no semi-conference finals or conference finals by himself. You know what I'm saying? So I can halfway see Kawhi Leonard, but Paul George.
Bro, so what you're asking for?
Stand up and get that speech at the end.
No, but you're asking somebody who's been treated like a god for at least the last 6-7 years of his NBA professional career. Mm-hmm. Then he watched how much the Clippers actually gave in compensation for him. And then he's like, well, I'm not Kawhi, but I'm also not the rest of these bottom 8.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of quasi in the middle.
He tried to
why shouldn't I get these liberties too?
He think he a demigod. That's what he think.
You know,
he's trying to create his own lane. I ain't God, but I'm a demigod.
Remember Kawhi coming to the Clippers was depending on them getting George.
It was.
George.
But that, what do you think that does for his ego? You think he's
It
out
just
here
is
thinking
good.
like I'm just want Pat Bev, and Shaman and even Marcus Morris. Like he was elevated. And here's the difference, right? LeBron gets all his concessions, and players like Kawhi and Paul George, they get their concessions. But at least LeBron knows I'm getting LeBron treatment. Like you can just hear it when LeBron talks, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I'm that dude, but I can at least relate. I can communicate, and Alex Caruso don't feel like LeBron's walking around swinging his thing, where obviously the rest of the Clippers felt like Paul George and Kawhi were just out here like,
I'll tell you the difference, Jay. I'll tell you the difference. 10 of the Lakers work for LeBron James. They on his payroll.
Yeah.
You
are right.
That has something to do with
it. They knew the deal going in.
Yeah, going in. So that's what I mean. You can't be mad.
He the agent.
And then there's also the difference
between secret agent.
LeBron has been for pretty much the undisputed best player in basketball for over a decade, and he's got the championships to back it up. Whereas Kawhi ain't the same. He might have 2 championships, but
Kawhi ain't LeBron James.
Yeah, Kawhi, his 2 championships came as well part of the team of the machine in San Antonio. And
I'm sorry, Kawhi is exempt in my opinion. It's just hard for Paul George to accept being in the middle, and that's where it was a combustible situation from jump. And they should have. It should have been Doc Rivers and Jerry West and Steve Ballmer should have anticipated all of this. You're leaders in all 3 of your respective positions, and there's just it was human nature that happened. How could you be surprised?
They sold their soul to get Kawhi. That's what happened. And I've been the biggest fan. I have been the biggest supporter. No, I don't say supporter, but I've desired to have Paul George join James Harden. I think he'd be the perfect sidekick. And after this interview, as much as I think his game would be the perfect mesh along
his mentality.
After this interview, I'm like, I ain't gonna say it's all the way out because he can go to a different team and they set those parameters early. And you
got the right complementary players who are not just complements with their skill set, but complements personality wise. You need when Kawhi Leonard needs a Kyle Lowry. Kawhi Leonard don't need a Paul George. And I'm not talking about the template, the skill set, the position. I'm just talking about
mentality.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that leadership.
So
that assertiveness.
I saw a article today that the headline asked, "Is Kawhi Leonard the only one that can stop LeBron James?" And my immediate thought was no. I mean, he couldn't even get past Denver. Both of them played. We talk about Paul George playing horrible. Kawhi Leonard played pretty horrible too in that series. And you hadn't shown in a long time. Now, he may have played good defense on LeBron James when he was playing for San Antonio, but he hadn't shown in a long time that he could stop LeBron James. Nobody has shown that they can stop LeBron James.
Thank you for making
that
point. Nobody.
Well, there's only 2 people. There's 2 people in the league that I feel like can really make him work, really make him earn it. And they're in the East. And that's Giannis, and that's Joel Embiid as a rim presence. That's it.
Yeah, but
I don't think anybody else.
They're not stopping LeBron James.
No one's stopping him, but I don't think no one's stopping any of the.
I feel like I was robbed, and I'm not sure we're going to see it. And I think that LeBron might be too old by the time it actually happens. But if Giannis can make the finals, and then some miracle happens, and the Lakers get past the Warriors, I'm really excited to see Giannis. Like, did you saw?
He said, "Wait, hold on, wait.
I know what I said.
You're not finna skip this rock over the lake, bro.
With a straight face.
You're not finna skip this rock over the lake.
I know what
some miracle happens, but some miracle happens, and they
if the Lakers get past the Warriors.
But
it's the other way around.
I know y'all saw the playoff game, the All-Star game where Giannis and LeBron went head up a couple of times, and I was just like, that length, Giannis's length is real, and
and his size.
Yes, and his size, and if LeBron loses just 5%, and Giannis levels up just a little bit offensively, and they were to meet head up in the finals, I'm like, we might watch a crown get passed right there live, hot on the spot.
But so the difference is, Giannis being the superstar that he is going to get equal treatment as LeBron. So when LeBron barrels into PJ Tucker and he gets the call 90% of the time, 75% of the time, he wins that battle because PJ Tucker eventually got to back down a little bit because I can't foul out. They're not going to foul Giannis out. LeBron gonna have to earn it. It ain't gonna be the bailouts that you want.
But not only that, though, it don't take long to see the eye test that when Giannis beats his crap for the first time and he can't just bully and run through him, you're gonna see it, and it'll be clear as day for the world to see. The problem is I just don't have enough confidence in the Bucks at this point. Drew Holiday was a good start, but we'll see. And chances are, like I said, it's a miracle if they even get past.
Another thing is with in the case of LeBron James, the days of putting spare parts around him is pretty much over at this point in his career. He ain't he playing
around and won a championship this past season.
Well, but that when I say spare parts, I'm talking about the Cavaliers the team that he left was spare parts compared to this team that he was on. So he wasn't having to do everything by himself because he had AD on the team, and he had Rajon Rondo to help take some weight off of him with handling the ball. Whereas Giannis, he's in a little bit different boat there. So it's a little easier to wear Giannis down defensively, than it is to do that to LeBron James. So that's a big difference right there.
LeBron has mastered the game, man. I said this before. He has learned.
He on that Kobe and MJ level.
He has learned how to conserve his energy throughout the game to use it in moments that absolutely need it. And there's moments what Jason said where he'll be playing and when he's been actually having to use it all in order just to keep up in a game. It happened against the Warriors. It happened against the Rockets in game 1 where you could see he was on empty. Yeah. And then, but as the season went, as the series
and
went along,
he said it himself that he figured it out. The speed, the pace that the Rockets play with, he figured it out, and you can see what happened.
But no, that's a misconception.
Houston let him off the hook, and the Warriors didn't.
Yes, that's the thing. The Rockets let him off the hook, and they couldn't keep the composure. Daniel House let him off the hook. The coach put Russell Westbrook in premature, let him off the hook, and James Harden mentally being like, a beast for 48 minutes and a mental midget for the last 46 minutes.
Yeah.
So. Man, he was just a mental midget. He was just a mental midget in game 4. Okay. That was the one. Yeah. The whole team pulled a no-show in game 4. But that was after the Daniel House stuff, and I think that just sapped him.
Hey, let me ask y'all this. What do y'all think about LiAngelo Ball signing a 1-year contract to the Detroit Pistons? Does this make LeVar Ball look like a prophet? He said all 3 of my boys are going to the NBA.
Hey, I commend him for it, but I'm not concerned about LiAngelo Ball.
I'm not concerned about him either. I'm just like amazed that all 3 of his boys are now in the NBA. Yeah. I'm not concerned. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying by no stretch of the imagination that he gonna get in and make some noise. According to his daddy, he gonna actually be better than LaMelo and Lonzo.
We're talking about it, but they're not even the only trio in the brothers in the league right now. We got the Holidays are there too.
Holiday brothers.
The Antetokounmpo.
The Antetokounmpos. Well, the other 2 are in the league just because they're trying to keep a brother on the team so Giannis wants to play. That's why they're playing.
That's good marketing.
But the Holidays actually contribute. The Lopez twins actually contribute a whole successful career. Man, we just signed Jerry and Grant. He ain't had his career ain't taken off, but his brother's over there balling too. There's other brothers in the league.
The Morris brothers.
I like it. I mean, if he can succeed, he looks like he got more girth than the other two. And
he just don't look as athletic, do he? He just looks.
He's not. But he's 6'5", 6'6", and he's thick. And anybody who wants it bad enough with that kind of talent, if he can be a 3-and-D player, he might be able to carve out a little contract. So.
Aaron, LiAngelo Ball, think Chuck Hayes as far as like being able to bang at that size. That's what he.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know nothing about his
with a
game.
jump shot.
He never really got any kind of presence. It's to me, it's not about his shooting. Shooting matters because he would need to be a PJ Tucker type of guy, or
his
at
shot
the very
looks
least,
better.
Jared Dudley. Can he be a Jared Dudley, the ultimate glue guy?
Yeah.
What's going to keep him in the league?
In order for him to succeed, he needs to find out what his niche needs to be and stick to that. And don't try to.
I can already tell you, his shot look all right. It looks better than both of them, at least right out the gate. And he's thick, and he's not quite as tall as the other two. 6'5", maybe a 6'6" on a good day, but he's thick. And I know nothing about him defensively, but I can already tell you, if you're lacking on talent, you got a nice little cool little 3, and you got a pedigree. How you gonna be? You're gonna have to be a 3-and-D.
Yeah.
So
and that D got to be good.
What I'm saying is he needs to know that he don't need to come in thinking that he gonna be that he gonna be a ball handler, or at some point he gonna turn into a superstar.
That's already been told to him.
Yeah,
going undrafted, that message has already been delivered, Marcus.
Yeah. G League. Hey, I had another one, another off topic or whatever, but heard an interview today with Budenholzer saying that this season is not championship or bust for Milwaukee. Y'all agree or disagree?
No, we still gotta wait. Giannis has till like December 20th, so we'll know if it's championship or bust after Giannis makes his move.
So Giannis signs that 1-1 that you anticipated. You said 1-1, right?
Yes. Yeah.
No, 2. You said no. You said 2.
2-year extension, but it's 2 years, but he's gonna keep himself the ability to opt out, right? So what I'm saying is he's got next year under contract, and I'm saying he adds another 1+1 to that. So
how old is Giannis? 26?
25.
Yeah, Giannis 25, 26.
Hold on, real quick. I'll be able to tell you.
I can't see him. I think it's like Anthony Davis. It's either 1-1 or it's 5 years.
I just don't see him signing a 5-year deal.
I think he would want to come back up.
He's 25. Giannis is 25.
Okay, so I think he would want to come back up for free agency at 30. Well, I guess he's 25, so it don't matter. So either way it goes, he's going to be.
Giannis, there's levels where you are now. Like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, Giannis would have took the money. But with LeBron and with all these other guys now starting to transcend, like KD getting a max deal on a torn Achilles, what could possibly happen to Giannis to where that money is not there in 12 months? There's no injury he can have that is going to scare teams off from throwing the max. So why do it?
Yeah.
Hey,
so I do think it's champion. I do think that every year for them should be champ. When I hear championship or bust, I mean you either won a championship or the season is a failure based on you not winning. And by that metric, I think it is championship or bust. And I think that message needs to be conveyed by the coach to set the players' mindset coming in that this is all we're going for. Nothing else is acceptable.
There's some thinking that's out there that LeBron James is trying to time his contract to where he's going to be able to play with his son, Bronny James.
I'm 100% believer on that.
I believe that.
I'm
glad
too. You brought it up too. And you know what? I was sitting there. They were like, he wants to play with the son. And I was so one-sided, like, well, how's he going to be on the team that's drafting first? And I'm like, well, actually, that makes perfect sense.
His contract.
He'll have fulfilled his commitment with the Lakers, right? And he's, they'll be happy that he did his job because he already delivered the championship. He's going to play 3 more years. He's got 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
His 3 goals are 6 championships, the scoring title, and to play 1 NBA game with his son.
Mm-hmm.
I think that those are his 3 goals, and he's got action at.
Four goals.
He's got action at 2 of those goals.
Four goals. 4 goals. The 4th goal is to manipulate it to where he can get a team to even bring his son into the NBA to make sure his son. Because if I'm LeBron James and I'm a free agent and I want somebody to pick up my son, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm a free agent. Y'all pick up my son. I'll come and play for you.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
So he making sure his son get into the NBA.
That coincides with him playing in the same game as his son. That's what's gonna happen.
The same way Giannis brothers are in the league is the same way LeBron's son gonna be in the league. And even if it ain't because of LeBron the player, it'll be because of LeBron the agent that has all these other players under contract, and he's steering players to teams.
He didn't figured out the NBA.
He got a monopoly. NBA. You want to sign this player? You want this player? He's signed to Clutch Sports, LeBron's agency. No matter how they try to sell it, swing it. And if you want this guy, then you sign Bronny, draft Bronny.
I see some games with Bronny. He don't look like, and this ain't me hating. This is me looking at a whole bunch of other players his age, and to me, he don't look like anything special. The only thing is he got LeBron James blood running through his veins.
Well, man, he's also a freshman or a junior. I mean, a sophomore, freshman or sophomore. So he got time.
But I've seen players. Yeah, he got time to develop. He's 16 now.
Yeah, so he's going up against seniors and varsity level players.
Yeah,
he has time.
I mean, what do you think about him right off the bat, Jason? When you watch Bronny,
I've seen his game. I've seen highlights. Miscellaneous random websites. Nothing that jumped off, but I'm just assuming he's going to hit a spurt, and when he hits a spurt, Maybe that's when I'll see something different from him.
I am too. I'm assuming he's going to hit a spurt, and I'm not discounting a player taking a drastic jump from being 16 to 18. We see it happen all the time, especially when LeBron James did that.
And he's going to have every courtesy
everything
on planet Earth given to him. So if he wants it bad enough, they're going to goose him and pat him along.
He better perform, or he gonna be another Marcus Jordan.
There's never been another person that was gifted, an NBA career for having done nothing. It's just going to happen. Period.
Yeah.
I put it like this: I can't see him short of a career-ending injury before he ever get there. I can't see him not being in the NBA.
Bronny James.
I don't think there's any way possible that
he know he going. He know he going. He like, hey, my ticket is punched.
Yeah. Did you guys see the LeBron interview when he was talking about Luka and how he wanted Luka to be the first athlete signed to Team LeBron or LeBron's brand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What y'all think about?
It actually kind of gave me goosebumps as I was listening to it because I love passion. I love passion for the game, and watching LeBron talk about Luka like that, it was like, because to me, I think Luka's somewhere in between Harden and LeBron, but he don't have the defense. So Luka's his own player, but the fact that he has aspects that are so endeared by LeBron, I thought that was good.
Through the video.
Was that your little daughter, the little baby?
That's
the
my
one I
13.
drew the picture?
Yes. Yeah.
Man, she ain't little no more. She ain't little no more. She got you by a whole head, man.
Well, I believe it. My own sister got me by a whole head. She got me by like maybe 2 inches.
No, because she always wearing heels, so she got you by a head, brother.
Who? Terry Lynn?
Yeah, she's a giant. She's a Giganosaurus.
If she got on heels, she got me by a head. But
no, I'm saying she always wearing heels, so she got you by a head. Take the heels off. I hate when we take a picture and she got a heel on.
That's a fault. Yeah, I don't like standing next to her when she got on her heels. But she
man,
about
take
your
them
height.
off in a family picture, or sit down. One of the two.
She's about your height, maybe a little shorter without. No, yeah. She's maybe a little shorter than you without heels on. How tall are you?
I think when we take pictures, she purposely put on heels or wear big hair.
Yeah.
Either one of them is.
Yeah, you gotta sit your behind
sit
down.
somewhere.
Sit down on the bench.
How am I supposed to intimidate these dudes when you keep standing up next to me?
How tall are you, Aaron?
Hey man, I'm 5'8" on a bad day.
Oh, I'm 5'7". So yeah, Terry Lynn, she's about your
5'8" is every day, so it's a bad day.
Yeah. How tall are you, Jay?
Over there.
I don't want to make y'all jealous, man.
Hey, listen.
Man, hey, look, brother.
Nobody jealous. Hey, chop you down size.
Hey, I've been living with this height my whole life. Ain't nothing gonna make me jealous now.
So she's 5'10", she's 13. I'm 6'4".
You 6'4", really? I ain't never met you in real. Have I met you? I ain't never met you in person.
How you end up drawing that picture? I don't even.
You gave the picture. You gave the picture to my mom, and she gave it to me.
Okay. Look. Well, I'm coming to Houston. Next.
Well, come to Nebraska, and I might see you.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You said Omaha, huh?
Yeah, Omaha.
No, I'm actually in Bellevue, just outside of Omaha. But you
coming to visit. You coming to visit Aaron's new home?
Hey, as soon as this coronavirus calm down, I will be in H-Town.
Yes.
I will be. So you moving to Houston?
Right there with you. No, sir.
But you just going to visit?
I'm going to visit, man. I'm going to stay
trying to persuade him. I keep trying to persuade him. I told him to go ahead and come to Houston and get a lot for your money, man. Don't let them people in Cali.
You will get so much for your money. We was thinking about moving to.
You off over there, Jay. I can already tell you before you purchase that you got ripped off.
We was looking at moving to California when I was in school for animation, and that didn't last long. It's like, okay, well, let's look at Dallas. They got animation there too, but now Dallas is becoming California.
Yeah, Dallas is more pricey. Tell him, man, come on down to the H, get your disability in so it can chop them taxes down to size.
Well, I can't tell you anything guaranteed past 5 years, but Texas has always been intriguing to me.
That's why all the NBA players, no matter if they leave the Rockets team or not, they always live in Houston. Cause no taxes on their money, and the houses are bigger. Everything is bigger, except me.
But just to make your house feel bigger.
Aaron, that your house is gonna be the get on your feet house now. You move into that big old house when somebody need to get on their feet, they come to stay with you.
Oh man, no,
that's what it is. Coming. Everybody's congregating at your house.
It's on the podcast. Nobody else. We ain't taking nobody else in. I'm done.
Thank you for watching the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, if you want to check out a few more clips, make sure that you hit the bell notification so that you're alerted whenever we post a new video.